The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
I once heard an incredible story. Meridic story. In Tells, in Chicago, the yeshiva had a building, 3535 West Foster, the corner of Foster and Bernard, I think it was. And then a few years later, they bought a dormitory, which was a big apartment building, a couple of blocks down. I think it was Foster in St. Louis, if I remember correctly. It's been a few years, like 30-something. So they bought a building over there. And one of the Avrohom was going around then, which was Yeshiva Chaim. It was Yeshiva, successful Yeshiva. And they were going through the various apartments in this apartment building, looking at it and trying to make sure that it's ready for the new Zman. They're going to have to move in and what has to be done and so on and so forth. So they come to one of the apartments, and remember, this is an apartment. People lived in there. And then later on, the Avrohom, like each apartment was broken up. So you had two Avrohom sleeping in what was once the kitchen dinette, and then you had two Avrohom sleeping in what was once the master bedroom, and two Avrohom sleeping in what was once the dining room. That's how it was broken up throughout this big apartment building. So he comes into one of the rooms that had been the kitchen, and there's a sink there. And as often happens in these apartment buildings, if it's not that well taken care of, the sink was full of filthy, stagnant, dirty water that was in there, and it wasn't cleaning. Somebody had to clean out the drain, obviously, and nobody had done so. And there's a reason why, he said, because it was pashat ekeldik. It was disgusting. Chaim whips off his kapata, rolls up his sleeve. Chaim was immaculate, clean. Tam Chacham Shnimtzu Rababal Bigda. You never found a Rababal Bigda. He was the epitome of cleanliness and dikduk. Rolls up his sleeve and starts sticking his hand in there. No gloves. No, this is in the days long before gloves were invented. No gloves. And his bracha is like, Rebbe, you don't have to do that. The Rebbe doesn't have to do that. We'll get somebody to do it. It's not covered for the Rebbe. Remember, I'm paying him no attention. Just going through and sitting there and pulling up alamine guk. Who knows what in the world was sitting in the bottom of that sink. Till the water starts to drain. And when he's done, Rav Chaim looks at him and says, I'll explain something to you. When you're building Torah, there is no job that's beneath you. When you're building Torah, there's no job that's not your job. Whatever the job is, you do it. That's the job you do when you're building Torah. I can't tell you what an impression that story has had on me. When you're building Torah, you do what you gotta do. There's no job that's beneath you. That's what you do. You do what it takes. And these are the small things that make the legacy. Rabbi Chaim used to walk around and pick up the paper from the floor on Erev Shabbos so that the basement should be clean. Because when you're building Torah, you do what it is. When you have a job in front of you, you do the job. There's no such thing as, it's not my job. I'm the Rosh Yeshiva, I'm the Rosh, I'm the father, I'm the mother. You do whatever you gotta do.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org